Hello yogins, welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with a yin yoga class for you, a full hour. And this one works our hips and our spine, and I just call this one EasyYin. So why is this easy? Well, it's easy for a few reasons. Some of you who've practiced with me before know occasionally I'll combine the hips and the spine together into one posture to save on time, and so we can still do the long 5-minute holds. Today we're not doing that. Today we're going to cut back the time, which is easier, again, a little easier, again the name, EasyYin. So 3-minute holds, and then we're doing very basic shapes. So since we aren't trying to do hips and spine in one pose, we're doing some relatively basic, straightforward shapes. And all of that should make this sequence fairly accessible, especially if you're new. And you don't need props for any of this. So I know a lot of people don't have props at home. It's not to say you can't use them or that they may not even be beneficial for you, but the way that I was taught yin is I don't really cue the props. I don't have a lot of sequences and postures that absolutely require that you have a prop. So again, props will be necessary for some folks, but not for everybody. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the sequence. If you do, please give me a like. If you have a question, leave it in the comments. If you like this kind of yoga-related content, subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to help support me in doing this work, check out the links below for supporting me financially or the Patreon page. Let me know what you think and enjoy. Namaste. Let's begin our practice with a banana pose. So we're going to come back onto our back. Into what's called pentacle in yin. And then from the pentacle, we move our hips over to the right edge of the mat. Take our left leg to the left, cross the right ankle over the left, reach up, grab the right wrist with the left hand, and then we just move everything as far over to the left as we can. And what we're looking for is a stretch in our right waist and ribs. And we also want to feel that this pose is within the range of what we feel is safe for our body to do. And we'll be here for 3 minutes today. We're about halfway through here. Okay, so gradually making your way to the other side. Please take your time doing that. There's no rush here. And if your pose was successful, then you may very well feel like you want to move slowly and not rush. Most of the time that is the case. This is banana pose, also known as Bananasana. Find the stretch in your left waist, ribs, maybe down into the hip, and then just maintain that position for the 3 minutes. If there's any question about your safety, then come out of the pose and contact me, and we will take a look at your posture. We can do like a little mini private and examine the pose and figure out what's going on. Okay, so let's unwind. We'll come back to a neutral position. In yin, that is usually called a pentacle pose when you're laying on your back. And we just experienced what we call the rebound. And then we'll bring our legs in, give them a nice squeeze, move around a little bit. Shake off that last set. And then we will hinge up to seated, hands under the hips with the palms down, extend our legs up. If there's any pain in your back, you bend your knees, otherwise legs straight, lift the head and neck. Take a deep breath, exhale, lower the legs toward the ground just before they touch, pause. Inhale, pop the legs up, and exhale, let the legs pull you up to a seat. Okay, half butterfly pose. Right leg straight, left foot to the inside of the thigh. And we come forward and down in a nice relaxed way, stretching the back of the right thigh and also our low back. Feel free to use support under your forehead, forearms, or torso, as long as you can still feel the stretch. You could also try sitting on something to push you forward a little more aggressively. Okay, we're switching sides. This is half butterfly, side 2. Once again, stretching the back of the thigh, also a little bit of stretch into our low back. So we come up and then make our way gradually back onto our back. Try and do that without a lot of counter stretching between the movements. So you just take your time, nice and slow, make your way back onto your back, and again, rebounding. Now drawing the legs in, give them a nice squeeze, move around a little bit, shake it out. The more variety of movement and the more movement generally, the better. So this is not the time to be still. And then from here, we will hinge up to seated. Now we transition into the square or shoelace pose. The most basic position is this, just sitting with the legs crossed, and I fold forward, and that is a basic, what's called a square pose. To make it more intense, I bring my knees closer together, or I take the right foot, which is the one in front, and place it over the left knee like so, okay? This is still a square pose. The target is out here in the outside of the hips, and again, a gentle stretch in the back. However, I can also do shoelace, which looks like this. Okay, so either one is fine. Again, we're targeting out here and a lateral decompressive effect on the low back. Once again, feel free to support the forearms, torso, forehead with a block or a bolster. Feel free to sit on something to tilt you forward if that's more effective. Try and relax into it, and again, we'll be here for 3 minutes. Okay, so we're making our way to the other side. Again, square pose or shoelace pose. I'm doing shoelace, but shoelace is not better or more advanced than square pose. So you choose the one that addresses your body most effectively. So the one that feels the safest, the one that feels the most effective in stretching these areas. And finally, the one that is perhaps most comfortable. So in that order, safety first, effectiveness close second, and then not nearly as important is comfort. But we're not trying to make ourselves uncomfortable. So comfort can be a consideration when choosing which variation to do. All other things being equal, make yourself comfortable. Taking your time, gradually coming up and gradually unwinding onto your back. Let's bring the legs in. We'll give them a little squeeze, shake it out, move around a little bit. And then when you're ready, hinge up to seated. Okay, so now we transition to our next posture, which is a dragonfly. So taking the legs straight and wide. Again, you may want to sit on something or bend your knees for this one. If you feel like you're being pulled backward like that. We want to feel gravity is pulling us forward in a relaxed way, so we don't have to pull or push ourselves down. Gravity is doing it. And again, I can support my forehead with a block, forearms with blocks, torso with a bolster. The feet can point any which way that they feel most comfortable, and the stretch is here and also in the back. Okay, come on up, and we have one more pose before we'll rest. We transition into a tabletop, and then in tabletop we take the knees as wide as they'll go. This is called frog pose. Your heels could be together or apart. Your feet can flex or point. You can be on your hands, forearms. You may even be able to lay on your belly in this position. Feel free to use a block under your forehead. And the stretch should be felt on the inside of your thighs, the groin. Okay, two choices. One would be to rebound in a child pose, which looks like this, or this. Or you can come simply onto your belly, resting one hand over the other and your forehead on the back of the hands, and that's called crocodile pose. Either one functions well as the rebound. And then either inhaling up from child pose or coming back from Makarasana or crocodile, we come into marauding bear, which is a active yang posture or stretch. Just using the pose to work the kinks out wherever we find them. And then after a little bit of time there, we can come into down dog, same idea. Just moving fluidly, rhythmically, trying to work the kinks out of the joints and muscles where we feel them. And then from there, we can come forward and down into Sphinx. So Sphinx is done by propping yourself up on the elbows like so. And what we'd like to feel is a little bit of compression in our back. However, the pose can be done like this, and that's called a seal. You could also prop your elbows up on a couple of blocks, which is another way to do the pose. Your shoulders can be depressed or relaxed, head held up, drop forward, drop back. Legs can be together or apart. Again, what we're looking for is just a little bit of compression in our back. Having said that, if you have a healthy back, you might be able to push yourself quite far into this pose, and that can actually enhance the effect of the posture. So it is possible to be aggressive in this posture and still be safe. That will be determined on a case-by-case basis. So if I use my own body as an example, there have been periods of time when I have not been able to be very aggressive in this posture. I have needed to be very careful, and I could just tell by the way my body was feeling. Now my back is feeling much healthier, much stronger. I can be much more aggressive, and it feels good. And it feels like it's helping my back to become even stronger and healthier. Gradually coming down. Rest on your belly for a moment, and then when you sense that you're ready, you can press back into a kneeling position, sitting on your heels, between your heels, between a block, or on a block that is between your heels. Your toes can point back or out to the sides. This is called saddle pose. If you feel the stretch in your thighs already, then remain upright. If you do not feel the stretch, then you can lower back to your hands, elbows, crown of your head, bolster, or all the way back onto your back. An alternate to this is to do the supported bridge. If you have a block at home, you can lay on your back, place your feet on the ground with the knees bent, lift your hips up, place the block underneath your pelvis. There are 3 different heights for the block, so you choose the one that feels appropriate for you. Rest your pelvis on the block, and then you can play around with straightening your legs out. Your feet are still on the ground, but your legs are more straight. You can also extend your arms overhead, and this increases the stretch on the front side of your body. Both are back bends. This pose, saddle, is a subtle back bend. Very intense work in the sacroiliac joint, however. And the bridge can actually be a deeper back bend, but it does not tend to affect the SI joint as dramatically. If neither of these poses work for you, which is a possibility, you repeat the last back bend that we did. The Sphinx or the seal should work. Please take your time, gradually unwinding from that posture, making your way back onto your back. Just relax and take it easy. Feel a rebound. Okay, drawing the legs in, we'll give them a little squeeze, move around a little bit, shake it out. And then we conclude with a spinal twist. This is called the twisted roots pose. And to do twisted roots, we bring the legs in, cross right leg over left, and drop the knees to the left. The arms can be in almost any position. The right shoulder stays near the ground, but it may not touch the ground. Same with the knees, they move toward the ground on the left, but they may not actually touch the ground. Feel free to use some support if necessary. The arms can be straight or bent, palms up, palms down. The knees can be very close to your chest and belly or pushed down further away from your chest. The head can be positioned looking to the left, straight ahead, or to the right. The key to finding the right position is feeling the way each position affects your body, paying attention to that, and optimizing the stretches that are possible in this position while minimizing, again, risk of injury and to some extent, discomfort. Very often, discomfort and the effectiveness of the pose are in a yin-yang relationship. What this means is, generally speaking, the more comfortable we are, the less effective the pose is. This is a huge generalization, so don't take it as gospel. Don't assume that that's always the case. But in general, if we are really comfortable, we're generally not exercising our body in any way that is going to help stimulate it to become stronger or healthier. This is in contrast to rest. Rest is important for health, but rest is not exercise. Exercise is an intentional stress applied to the body to make the body respond by getting healthier or stronger in some way. Yin yoga is exercise. It is not rest. You might find it relaxing. You might find it helps you recuperate from other exercises that you're doing. However, it is exercise. It is stress for the body. It is not meant to be completely comfortable or relaxing. This is important, otherwise we miss the benefits of our yin practice. Gradually coming back up through the center position and crossing left knee over right, dropping the knees this time to the right side. Feel free to experiment with different body positions to find the one that is optimal for you. Once again, taking your time, gradually unwinding back onto your back. In Yin, we call this pentacle. It can be essentially the same pose as Shavasana. But again, you have other options, arms bent, straight, in a Y or T or W position. After a brief rebound, you might bring your legs in. Again, give yourself a little shake, a little counter stretch. And then unwinding back into a pentacle pose, maybe the same one, maybe slightly modified for a longer relaxation. And taking the next few minutes to rest in stillness and silence. I will guide you through a very, very brief body scan. Body scans are very useful for helping to deepen our relaxation. To do the body scan properly, you want your body to be still, your breath to be natural, and you simply move your attention to different parts of the body. Let's begin just by taking a nice full deep breath in, and then as you exhale, let the breath out with a sigh. Now just allow your breath to be completely natural. Bring your attention down to your toes. Now to the ankles. The knees. Pelvis. Abdomen. Chest. Shoulders. Throat. Chin. Face. Head. The back of your head. The shoulder blades. the back of the thighs, calves, heels, the soles of the feet, and now the entire body. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes. The whole body. All right, yogins, so how was that? Was it easy for you? Hopefully so. Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it. But even if you had a difficult time, even if some of the postures were difficult for you, I hope you know as long as you don't injure yourself, you are benefiting your body, your heart, your mind, and ultimately, potentially, spiritually. We may need to go a little deeper for that spiritual part to really take hold, but that's what I do. So if you're interested, reach out. Again, guys, if you enjoyed it, I'd love to hear from you. If you have a question, I'd love to hear from you. Comments below. And then if you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I upload something new. And then if you'd like to help support the channel financially, that really helps me out. You can check out the links for PayPal, Venmo, and you can also check out the Patreon page and help support me for as little as $1 a month, and then you get a little bit of extra content from time to time. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that, and until next time, namaste.